Wait, Pink Floyd, it wasn't the teachers after all. It was actually the bureaucracy gang.
Stop the presses!
Bureaucracy. It was administrators, parents, politicians.
Yes, might have gotten away with it too.
If it hadn't been for you meddling kids.
Hey, brainy babes, welcome to BB, the channel where I get your brain and body out of the box. I'm B-Love, aka the Box Baler. I smash societal boxes that keep you from growing and reaching your full potential.
Oh my! Smiling smell rocks. I'm crazy like a fox, and even if I ever die, don't try to put me in a box.
Today, I'm going to smash the stooge box that teachers get trapped in. School does indeed suck, but stop scapegoating teachers. Yes, school sucks, but it's not because teachers are neglecting the learning styles of their students. It's not because they're not teaching real-world skills. Likewise, teachers are not responsible for state standards, the factory model of school. They don't choose the bland approved textbooks, and they are not the ones who decided on large class sizes, etc. So if you haven't already, put away your torches and pitchforks.
Burn the witch! Burn the witch!
Oh man, before I forget, last time I had you guys smash the subscribe button, and then I realized I still needed it, and it took me forever to fix it. So this time, can you just please click it and also like and comment? Thank you. School does, in fact, prepare you for the skills you will need in this bizarre world, a world we have created full of imaginary concepts such as money, time, ownership, and borders. It is a world of imagination we have the gall to call the real world. You know what separates humans from other animals? We're the only ones who call the real world the one with pretend concepts like time and money. Bitch, be humble.
I just found out there's no such thing as the real world.
Really, nearly all the practical skills we learned and retained, we learned by the 5th grade. You do have all the mathematical skills you need for the real world. A lot of people say things like, I learned Pythagorean theorem, but not how to balance a checkbook. Yes, you did.
Show me wax on, wax off.
Cat! Cat!
By the 5th grade, you have the skills to pay the bills. You know how to read a recipe, budget money, leave a tip, split a bill, read a clock, and pay taxes. You also know how to read and follow directions, because reading comprehension is a skill essential to adulting, no matter what your learning style is. Speaking of learning styles, decades of research suggests that the idea that people are innately born with learning styles that are either visual, audio, or kinesthetic turns out to be a myth. In 2 peer-reviewed studies, Professors Shaw and Gelman examined the idea that people have learning styles present at birth. Their studies reveal that learning styles have much more to do with nurture than they do with nature. In fact, they compare people who believe in learning styles to believing in fortune telling.
Maybe she's born with it.
Or maybe it's
We have different preferences and abilities because of our experience. I prefer kinesthetic learning, but most of us can learn in many different ways. Teachers are starting to switch it up, which is nice, makes things more interesting. However, it would be nonsensical to divide classrooms into 3 groups and provide each group with its own tailor-made lesson because class sizes are too big and that's too time-consuming. Not to mention that each individual group would become gangs. The kinesthetics would have turf wars with the audios. The audios would be torn away from their visual friends. Fascism would ensue. For the love of God!
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Lastly, I want to talk about how the factory model of education and state standards are intertwined. Parents and education experts designed universal common standards to prepare students for success in the workplace, which is why we have the factory model. Any society that has a pyramid hierarchy benefits from people being obedient worker ants. The factory model is, and always has been, unscrupulous. By the way, never mistake me for defending private schools. They may not have to accept state standards, but if they don't, they lose funding and they don't prepare their students for the ACT or the SAT tests. So most of the time, they do accept them. It reminds me of a boss I had the first time I waited tables who told me, "Good news, you don't have to cut your hair." And I was like, "Great, I'll just tie it back." He said, "No, not allowed to have ponytails." "So I'll wear a hat?" "No, not allowed to wear hats." So I'd wait tables, and once in a while, I'd try to brush the hair out of my face, and poof, he'd pop out of nowhere, scare the hell out of me. He'd say, "Hey, you just touched your hair. You have to wash your hands." I thought, weird. Every time I touch my hair, it pops out. But when I touch money, when I touch dirty dishes, it doesn't pop out. But in other words, you don't have to accept state standards. Instead of becoming critical thinkers, we were groomed to become box buyers and sellers.
Since preschool, we've been confined and primed to conform to orders and stay in line. Perform to the norm and be on time. When your business is all you mind, you're human unkind. With greed gone blind, inclined to decline to a criminal mind. Till you find you're a zombie at the deadline.
There are only following orders.
I wish our society would rise above the factory model. Why would schools do it when society still has it? In short, the factory model looks like this: a pyramid structure with most of the employees on the bottom, in competition with each other and constantly reminded that we're expendable. Also, working hard for arbitrary pieces of paper, i.e. money or report cards. You know what separates humans from every other animal? We're the only ones who work stupid jobs to collect pieces of paper. Bitch, be home. School also prepares you for working long hours. I think the reason we give kids homework is to instill in them a belief that work is the most important and should come first. I hope, like me, you disagree.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Most teachers like kids and want to give them life-helping knowledge, and they become dissatisfied and discouraged when they're prevented from doing so. They have enough problems without constantly being made into a scapegoat. Teachers are like Indiana Jones in a booby-trapped temple. Booby. Anyway, they're underpaid, under pressure, under-supported, under-stressed, undervalued, and under the bus. And they're overworked and overblamed. Annoying new trends in testing never end. Their evaluations are absurd. Their position is mentally draining and isolating. The amount of paperwork they have to do is ludicrous. And as if all that wasn't bad enough, they have to deal with work politics. And there's always at least a few students that require way more support and attention than a teacher can realistically give because of the absurd sizes of their classroom. So instead of throwing teachers under the bus, show gratitude. All right, that's it. See you next time. Follow me on SoundCloud. Link in the description. Thanks.
Bugging in the class, watching the clock tick, wishing that the time would pass more quick. Knowing that I ain't learning nothing. Why the hell the dumb teacher just asked me something? I can't answer her question. Needless to mention, it leaves a bad impression. See you in detention when it's time to pay attention. I'm a day late, dollar short. I'd rather be out on the court. Going to my next class, what's the point? I'll just go to my locker and roll up a joint. Get out of dodge of the monitor in the hall. Tag the wall, shoot some ball. Well, the teacher yells my name in roll call. Damn, I fuck 'em all.